How much does protein really influence the fertility conversation?
Protein is huge. I'm just a broken record about protein in general.
Me too.
I wasn't sure, like, it's one thing to have the clinical experience and like firsthand experience with clients where you're like, really, these people need more protein and like all these things would be better. It's another thing to like really dig into the literature and find like, is there actually an evidence base for this thing that I'm observing, or these all just
Yeah.
happen to be like very similar clinical anecdotes? When you dive into it, protein has a lot of really important roles in fertility. So we need it for blood sugar balance. That's a huge one. Hormone production, maintaining our muscle mass, our lean body mass. We need it for liver detoxification. I mean, when you think about hormones, the liver is a really major site of hormone metabolism in the body. So if you're too low on protein, you can't make the enzymes necessary to like process your hormones and detoxify like the harmful types of estrogen, all that, get rid of estrogen mimicking chemicals that can wreak havoc on your hormone balance, and so on. It's also really important for your thyroid function and maintaining your body temperature. So out of all of our macronutrients, protein produces the most heat when it is digested. And so when you have clients coming in with like low basal body temperatures, you might be worried about thyroid issues. Oftentimes lack of protein is an issue. So it's important for all those things. Those are more like kind of structural major functions, but you start to look at its roles in fertility specifically. And what I actually found the most interesting was looking at the roles of individual amino acids on things like egg quality, fertilization, conception, implantation, the formation of the placenta, like all of these adjustments that have to happen physiologically to even allow conception to like take place and support the early pregnancy environment, which that happens before you get a positive pregnancy test, or many of those stages happen before that milestone. So when you start looking at it from that angle, it's more than just like you need a certain amount of protein, but you also need a certain quality of protein. You need the right balance of amino acids. And to bring it back home to the more like general real life application, we do need more protein than most people think they need. If you look at like the RDA for protein, it is set at a very, very low level. There's like two major ways the dietary guidelines set protein. They have like the RDA, which is like a gram per body weight calculation, and then they have like a percent of calories calculation. Right. If you look at the two of those, the RDA is set at like the very bottom of that percent of calories range. So in other words, like even by the own guidelines, you could more than triple protein intake and still be in a healthy range, but everybody uses this arbitrarily low RDA as a benchmark. Right. And that's unfortunate. My experience is women need more protein, and we do often see just issues happening with hormones, with menstrual cycle issues, ovulatory issues, blood sugar issues, thyroid issues, just a whole gamut of circumstances that arise from insufficient protein intake. And that particularly applies at breakfast. So that's a big one, is getting enough protein at breakfast. It really sets your satiety signals for the day, your whole blood sugar and insulin homeostasis, really prevents you from being kind of living in a high cortisol state all day long. It just keeps your stress hormones happy. Like everything's happy if we just get some protein at breakfast. So
how simple does that sound?
I know.
Hard some days, but it's just such a huge piece.